Hello everybody and welcome to the Trading with Ashley show. Today's video is going to be dedicated to those of you that are interested in trading the wheel strategy in retirement, but you're just not sure if you have what it takes and you're a little bit scared and intimidated by the whole process. This is going to serve as a great guidebook for you to listen to all the nuances of trading the wheel strategy in retirement and determine if this is something that you can really do. Now, I'm living proof that it can be done, and there's several others that have been successful in trading the wheel strategy to generate the income that they need to live off of. This may be perfect for those of you that are stuck in a job in corporate America and you're just not happy being chained to a desk all day and you don't like others controlling your time. Or maybe you have a grumpy boss that's just not that much fun to work for and you would prefer to be your own boss. So it's given me the freedom and it's taking my portfolio to new levels that I never could have achieved if I was still working in corporate America. And so this video is meant to educate you and encourage you that it can be done. In fact, I have a community now of almost 800 members that are actively doing this every day and they're very successful with it. So let's talk about the elephant in the room, because the main question that I receive from people that are considering trading the wheel strategy for a living is, what do we do if the market crashes? How do we handle market pullbacks? Well, let's discuss that. If you believe in strong American companies, and if you believe in the S&P 500, and you believe that it goes up over time, then trading the wheel strategy is going to actually give you better results than just putting your money in the S&P 500. But if you're so risk adverse that you can't stand the thought of having even 1 month where the market pulls back, or worse yet, you're worried about an extended period of time where the market is in a continual downtrend, if that's your concern, then trading the wheel strategy may not be for you. You may want to consider either continuing to work or look at an annuity or look at investing in some type of mutual fund that pays very little, but it's much safer in your perspective. However, if you're going to jump into the market, I am of the belief that the wheel strategy is the safest way to trade. Let me give you a real example. So when we look over October, the S&P 500 and the NASDAQ both pulled back almost 1%. I think the S&P was 0.8 and the NASDAQ was 0.9 for the month. Well, my portfolio, it grew by 8.7%, primarily due to selling puts. That's a big part of the wheel strategy. And when we have down days, we are able to garner more premium, which is the income we use to live off of on a down day. And so it's important that you have rules that you follow when you're trading the wheel strategy. And I'm going to take you through some of those critical rules so that you can be more successful if you decide to do this. But my example is just one example. I grew 8.7% in October. And if I just had my money in the S&P 500 or the NASDAQ, it would have pulled back almost 1%. Now, you're not going to win every trade and you're not going to see your portfolio go to new heights every month. It's just not possible. But you can outperform the S&P, which is the metric that most hedge funds actually use to look at their own performance and explain their performance to their clients. Now, how much time does it take to do this? Well, learning takes more time than actually running the wheel strategy. So if you want to learn, you need to either study videos online, the free ones are great, or join a mentorship like I'll offer, or pay to be in a boot camp like I offer, or quite frankly, anyone. As long as you can learn from the individual teaching, you can pick this up. Yes, it may take you longer to learn if you're not in a formal program, but it can be done. So that's important to note. But why does the wheel strategy work? Why is this even possible? How is it safer per se? Like I like to share that it's a safer way to trade. Well, the reason is when you sell options for a living, when you're in the stock market and that's how you're generating income, it gives you so many more options if the trade starts working against you. And so let's say if you're a golfer and you have a mulligan. I'm sure a lot of you are golfers and you have said, nope, I'm going to take a mulligan, which means you want a do-over on the trade. You can actually do that with selling options. And if you select the right entries, and I will go through how to do that, then your mulligan, your get out of jail free card, can actually make you more money if you do it correctly. It's called rolling a trade, and we do it quite often in my community, and it really helps us get outsized gains. It's wonderful that there's that opportunity when you sell options. You can win in 3 different scenarios, and those scenarios are this. Let's say you're selling a put. When you sell a put, you're putting up the money to buy the shares of a stock at the price that you believe that is a fair price for the stock. Well, if you sell a put, you're going to get premium for that from whoever's buying the put. So you will win in these 3 scenarios. If the stock stays flat and decides it's not going to move up or down, you get to keep that premium. It does not hit your strike price. You win. If the stock goes up, it's going away from your strike price. You won't be assigned the shares. You get to keep all that premium. You win. If the stock goes down just a little bit, doesn't quite hit your strike price, you get to keep 100% of that premium. And guess what? You win. But let's talk about the 4th way for you to win if you sell a put and you are assigned the shares. If you had the right entry on the stock and you selected the right strike price, that's where all the fun happens. Because if you're assigned a stock at a fair price, then all you have to do is be patient. Then let's let that stock rise up to a level that you feel like is a great level to then sell it. Then instead of just selling it outright, we sell covered calls. We get extra premium by selling covered calls. Basically, when you sell a covered call, you are letting whoever the buyer is know that you will release your shares to them as long as the stock settles in at the strike price that you agreed to. And you get premium for that as well. So when you look at all 3 of those scenarios, you make premium when you sell the put, you make premium when you sell the call, but guess what? You make the most in stock appreciation when you enter a stock at a low price from selling a put, being assigned, and you have that stock called away at a higher price. And really, you can be as flexible as you want, and as long as you're patient and you're letting that stock continue to rise up, you can really have significant gains if you end up getting a quality stock at a really low price and you were patient and let it rise before it's called away. Let's talk about how much money you need to trade the wheel strategy. It is a safer way of trading, so you may not see returns like 500 and 600% annually like you will in some maybe lotto trades that you've heard about if you're buying calls and day trading. But if we are doing this in our retirement years for income, we need to be more conservative. We need to be safer. So a conservative number that I have seen many of my students achieve is 30% annual return. And you know what? That is so much better than a hedge fund. A hedge fund on average will give you anywhere between 6 and 8% return, and they're charging fees for that low return. S&P 500 alone will offer you anywhere between 8 and 12%. But if you are running the wheel strategy for retirement, 30% is a very realistic number. So people ask me, how much money do you need? Well, if you're just doing this part-time, you don't need near as much money, but I would encourage those with an account size of about $25,000 would be the best account size to break into selling options, or maybe you have more money and you just want to see how it works. You will be able to trade a pretty good number of stocks if you have $25,000 in cash to run the wheel strategy. If you don't have $25,000 to start with, then I encourage you to consider swing trading. You can take any of these stocks as long as you're getting them at a really good level, and then just sell them when they rise to a level that is a fair price for you to let them go, usually anywhere between 5 and 20%. And you can grow your account that way. But if you are looking at a 30% annual return and you need, let's say, $10,000 in cash to enjoy a comfortable retirement, then you would need about $400,000 that you're working with, because that will produce for you about $120,000 in annual income, which is about $10,000 a month. Now, I have in the last 12 months in my Wheel Strategy account, I have achieved a 51% return. So it can be done. Now, I am in a little bit different category because I put so much energy into the markets and I put so much energy into my trades. And my students in my Discord, they are able to see all of my trades and they're taking a lot of those as well. So we actually usually do much better than the 30%, but I do understand not everybody wants to be a part of a community and some like to just go at their own pace. So if that's the case, then you can expect about 30%. And that's after you learn the proper entries and exits. So the next stage in this video is to show you how to evaluate the proper entries and exits for a trade. I'm going to go over with you how to select the price for the put, and then I'm going to go over with you how to select the price to sell the call. And then everything in between is where all the money is made. So you can just enjoy that part of it just by the stock appreciation. But before we get into those details, let me share with you my personal rules on trading the wheel strategy and how I keep it as safe as possible. Here they are. 1, I must want the stock and it must be a good quality company or a company that may be speculative, but they have very good fundamentals and you are of the strong belief that their business model is one that will continue to grow through the years. However, if you are trading a stock, I encourage my students to stick with only about 7% in any one ticker symbol. Let's say the company has accounting issues that come to light and then the stock tanks. Well, if it's just 7% of your portfolio, then you can recover because you've got a whole basket of stocks that will help insulate you from any one ticker symbol going down like that. So that's very important that a big part of responsible trading is not putting all of your eggs in one basket. So let's say about 7% of your eggs in one particular basket will help insulate you against any one company going rogue. The other is you must select the right strike price for a stock. A stock must be in the right point for you to sell a put because assignment does happen. And if you're assigned at a fair price, you're actually happy about that. But if you're assigned when a stock is at the peak of its price life cycle, then you're just going to have to suffer through it coming down and hope that it goes back up. The next part is trade management. If you are somebody that doesn't have a lot of time, then you may want to stick with monthly options, and that's just fine. You'll make a little bit more if you go with weekly. But if you're doing monthly options, you still have to monitor your trades. And if we get close to the strike price you selected, you need to make a decision on whether or not you roll the trade or whether you decide to get out of the trade and get back into it later when the conditions are more favorable. So trade management is a very important part of the equation. Monthly options trade management will take you maybe a couple of hours a week. If it's weekly options trade management, you can dedicate usually about 4 or 5 hours, maybe, doing 1 hour a day, just looking at your trades to determine what you do next. Hey, that gives you a good foundation. Now, let's go look at the proper entries and exits for a trade.
Hey, I am in Yahoo Finance. This is a great site to help train you on because it's very easy to see. And if you're a visual learner, this will be very easy for you to understand and comprehend. So if I'm going to go sell a put on Palantir, let's say that I want to own 100 shares of Palantir, then I would be selling one put option. But you might wonder, what price should I consider? Well, let's go look. When you get to a site like this, the first thing you want to do is look at your Bollinger Bands. Now, I am looking at a 3-month chart. If you're going to be selling a monthly option, then I suggest you consider a 3-month chart. If you're going to be selling a weekly option, then you want to look at the 1-month chart. So when you go here, I've got my Bollinger Bands set up, and typically a stock will like to bounce in between the bottom of the band and the top of the band. And you can kind of see that here. You see it was closer to the bottom and then it popped up and kind of bounced around a little. And now it is coming down towards the bottom of the band. We're still positive down here on the RSI. It's 53. Anytime you're over 50, a stock is in a bullish mode. So when you see a stock in a bullish mode like this, and it's closer to the bottom part of the band, you want to consider the bottom part of the band is a good entry point for the stock. Because if I sold a $40 put and I was assigned, I will more than likely be able to enjoy holding on to this stock until it gets towards the top of the band, which is closer to about 46. That's when I would consider starting to sell covered calls. If you're going to sell covered calls, you do it on a green day, and you'd want to shoot for something above the $45 level.
I hope you found that helpful. I hope now you have a firm grasp on if this is something that is realistic for you to consider. If you're serious about doing this for a living and you want to have a mentor like me and be a part of a community of a lot of like-minded traders, consider joining my Discord. There is a link below. I know sometimes those appointments are full to talk to somebody to get into the Discord. If that's the case, I have an email down there. Just send us an email and we will try to get you a direct link to join, and then you can always upgrade later. Remember, if you're with Trading with Ashley, there is no trader left behind. Now, if you're interested in trading the SPY in retirement, I've got a video for you to consider. It's right here.